It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it, not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows, with no credit to take cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does you just smile cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. Let the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow,
when it grows it grows,
whatever dies will die,
and when it dies it dies. Come on,
works will
if it works it works.
Whatever flies will
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail,
when it fails it
what's meant
fails.
to soar will soar.
When it soars it soars.
I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow,
let it grow, let it
whatever
grow.
dies will die,
When it dies it dies.
whatever works will work,
When it works it works.
whatever flies
Yeah,
will fly,
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail,
When it fails it
what's meant
fails.
to soar will soar.
Let it soar.
I am planting seeds
and nothing more.
Good morning, everybody. So here we are, and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Spokane, where we are about our mission of making a difference in the world by transforming lives and making a positive difference in the world. My name is Darlene Walsh-Martin, and I will be the platform assistant this morning. If everyone could please take a moment to silence your cell phones, that would be greatly appreciated. As always, we want to begin our time together by sharing our opening affirmation. I will say it once and then ask you to repeat it with me. There's only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. This is Unity's foundation principle: one presence, one power, one life, living through and as each of us. This morning, we are hearing from our transformational speaker, Noelle Cave, and her message entitled, Sand Dunes and Oil and Camels, Oh My. And I will be leading us in today's meditation. And now, here's Amber for some news you can use.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Okay. As always, we want to encourage everyone to read our weekly e-newsletter, which comes out on Wednesdays. So if you haven't received the most recent issue, please scan the QR code that you'll see in the bookstore or just in the back of the sanctuary. Or you can text the word Unity Spokane to 22828, and you can receive that immediately. So all the information that we share up here, as well as information from the past and kind of relevant information, will be in that e-news newsletter. Okay, so we have a few announcements. First, we have that new book study starting Monday, September 13th. This one is hosted by Jeff Tawney, and the group will be reading the book Think Like a Monk, Train Your Mind for Peace and Purpose Every Day by Jay Shetty. Again, that will be Mondays at 7 p.m. in the chapel here. So it's in person, September 13th to November 15th. If you are interested, September 13th, yeah, email Jeff Tawney for any questions you have or to sign up. His email is right there, and also it will be in the e-newsletter. Okay, next, the Ladwig family would like to invite you to a celebration of life for the amazing and wonderful Mary Ladwig. That will be this coming Saturday, September 11th at 2 p.m., right here at Unity Spiritual Center, Spokane. As many of you know, Mary was a vital part of this ministry, and especially the youth ministry, for decades. And we all know she is deeply missed by everyone who is blessed by her radiant presence and her love for the youth that she served for so many years. The family has asked that donations be made to the Mary Ladwig Memorial Fund for Youth Ministries. And so if you would like to donate to that, please designate on your check or on your online contribution noting Mary Ladwig Memorial Fund, and that money will be routed to the right place. So thank you so much, and please, the family looks forward to celebrating her amazing life with you this Saturday. Okay, and now we're going to hear a song, and then we will hear from the amazing Noelle.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
All
is
that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it all.
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all,
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see. that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Salam alaikum. I knew somebody would know the answer to that. Thank you, Amber. My name is Noelle Cave, and I've been a member of Unity here in Spokane for the last 5 years. What prompted my wanting to share some of my observations and experiences with you today was because of something that happened in my very own living room. I was watching our Sunday Unity service, and one of our amazing transformational speakers was talking. I thought to myself, I wish I had a big transformational experience that I could share. Then I heard the voice of God. Don't panic. She wasn't asking me to lead the armies of France. At least I think it was her. She sounded a lot like Barbra Streisand channeling Fanny Brice, the comedian. What? She said. Spending 23 years of your life in Saudi Arabia wasn't transformational enough for you? Needless to say, I got the point. I did have something to share, hence the title of my talk, Sand Dunes and Oil and Camels. Oh my. First, let me give you some background on how I happened to travel 8,000 miles from my home in Nevada to a kingdom far, far away. Before my family and I settled in Spokane, we had lived in Guam, the Philippines, and Hawaii. My father and mother had met and married on Guam. She came from California, and he came from Texas. They worked for a company called BPM, which was rebuilding the island after World War II. My first travel adventure, which could explain my love of cruising, was on a ship crossing the Pacific Ocean, but I was in utero. My mother didn't know I was tagging along. My parents returned from Guam to Oakland, but a few years later, they returned after the birth of my younger sister. From there, we moved to Manila. And to condense everything, aren't you glad? We ended up in Spokane, where my grandmother lived, and I started 4th grade. Fast forward to my graduation from Gonzaga with a teaching degree, and I was off and running, joining my mother, who by then had moved to Nevada. And then I started teaching in the schools in Las Vegas. Several years down the road, I was working on my master's in Flagstaff when I met a fellow student whose parents were working in Saudi Arabia. When she returned from visiting them in the summer, she had decided to apply for a teaching job with Aramco, the oil company. I applied as well. I had always had visions of teaching in London, Paris, Rome, but you know that saying, be careful what you wish for? Maybe I should have been more specific when I was wishing. When the door to my new life opened, it was an airplane door, and I can still remember the feeling of that very hot, very humid air of August in Saudi Arabia. And the adventure began. But I didn't come here to present a travelogue. Instead, I wanted to tell you about what I see are some of the mistakes that are being made when people talk about the Middle East. It's not one country. There are 18 countries that fall into that category. I've been to Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, Syria, Cyprus, the United Arab Emirates, where Dubai is located, Turkey, Kuwait, Lebanon, Jordan, and I actually lived in Saudi Arabia. I can tell you firsthand, they are all different. Some have oil as a natural resource and have enough to export. Some do not. All of them have interesting histories, just like we do, only theirs are older. The predominant religion is Islam. Some have stricter practices where Islam is concerned, and some do not. Time and again, we talk about the Middle East as though it was one country. Generally speaking, the weather is very warm in the summer and delightful in the winter. They even have had snow in the mountains of Saudi Arabia. That's the country I want to talk about, the country I knew and know now. Where shall I start? Let's start with the basics. Clothing. See this? This is not a burqa. This is called an abaya in Saudi Arabia. It's worn over regular clothing, and it covers a multitude of things. I like to think it covers a multitude of Haagen-Dazs. All women in Saudi are required to be modestly dressed when going out in public. When I first went to Saudi Arabia in 1980, all abayas were black and made of polyester material. It was no treat to wear in the summer. However, as a non-Muslim, I was not required to wear one. As long as I was well covered from my neck to my ankles, I didn't have to cover my hair or wear the face mask. During certain times of the year, like Ramadan, we were encouraged to carry a headscarf in case an overly enthusiastic mutawa, who are the self-appointed religious police, took offense. The use of the abaya, or forms of it, is over 4,000 years old. It is not mandated by the Quran. The Quran encourages modesty in dress. Over time, the once shapeless black abaya has evolved into a better-looking thing to wear. In fact, some women have found that they would buy abayas that had little rhinestones in them, or for the really wealthy, diamonds, and they would shimmer when they walked. My friend in Saudi told me a few days ago that women can now wear them open, so underneath, as long as their clothing underneath is modest. Although the requirement of wearing an abaya has been lifted, it is still a common practice. When I visited in 2019, I was so uncomfortable going downtown without one that my first shopping stop was to get this one. The practice of being modest in dress for both men and women was something some of our American soldiers didn't understand during Desert Storm in 1990. Modesty in dress reflects a level of self-respect for yourself and for the practices of Saudi, where you are a visitor. So, when I saw an American female soldier walk across a grocery store parking lot wearing a tank top and bicycle shorts, I knew there would be problems. Within a week, all soldiers had to be dressed in their fatigues whenever they went out in the community. It is so important to understand and respect each other on the simplest levels. When we get our new influx of refugees, I know all of you will remember that. As for food, it's delicious. If you're a little vague on Middle Eastern cuisine, try the Kebab House on North Division and know this is not an ad. It's just that it's really good. Saudi Arabia has all the fast food restaurants as well, and yes, there are Starbucks everywhere. I mean, everywhere. When you went out to eat, the areas were segregated. Families and women ate in the family section, and if you were a man with other men, you ate in a different section. Now, if it was one of those restaurants where there was not an easy division, they would put up a screen around the table where a family might be sitting. It was very interesting. However, there is one food item you will never find on the menu: pork. No bacon. Turkey bacon, but no bacon. Any form of it is strictly forbidden in the kingdom. When I first went to Saudi, my company, Saudi Aramco, allowed its employees to buy pork products in a building with blacked out windows called the pork store. You had to sign for your purchases, and if it was noticed that you seemed to buy more than you needed, you could get the dreaded letter in your file, indicating that you were a pork abuser. I got one of those. Moving along. Clothing, food, and shelter. While the local population when I first went, lived outside the camp in apartments or villas or houses. Aramco's expat employees lived inside the camp in company housing. My first housing was a 10 by 10 room with shared facilities, but as things moved along and my housing points grew, I moved into better situations like condos with low rents. I mean, low rents. The only utility we paid for were long-distance calls. No heating bills, no AC bills. Such a deal. We had swimming pools, gyms, parks, skateboard parks, and even a movie theater. We used the movie theater for our drama productions, and these weren't just little plays. There was a lot of talent on camp. The Daran Theater Group staged Les Mis, The Mikado, Into the Woods, the list goes on and on. Golf was a big thing in Daran. At first, the course was sand, and the golf balls were orange so that you could find them as you were playing. Things changed with that, as they have with many things there. The golf course is now completely grassed in because the executives of the company, the Saudis in high places, love to play golf. An added bonus to living in Saudi Arabia was becoming acquainted with Saudi hospitality. For example, when you went to buy a big ticket item like a rug, you didn't just walk in the store and start browsing. The owner would greet you and offer you tea. You'd chat for a while, and then the shop assistant would start laying out rug after rug. They took the time to establish a relationship. And they remembered you. Even when I went back after 6 years, they not only remembered me, but remembered what I had bought. No wonder I grew to consider Saudi Arabia my second home. This is why when this incident happened, my heart broke. A friend of mine was visiting in Spokane and wanted to see what an abaya looked like, and so I dressed her up in one, including the face and hair coverings, and took a picture. She told me later, laughing, that when she showed the picture to her grandson, the first word out of his mouth was terrorist. Then I had a similar experience when I was visiting Saudi in 2019. There had been that terrible incident, I believe it was in New Zealand, where so many people had been killed in a mosque. I was standing on the corner, like this, waiting for a bus that was going to take me into camp. And some Saudi men drove by and yelled out the window, "Terrorist, go back to your country." I was shocked. I wanted to run after them. I wanted to say, "Let's sit down, let's have tea. Let me tell you how I contributed to the growth of your country." But all he saw was an uncovered female with an abaya on, so he pretty much surmised that I must have been a terrorist too. And what I learned from that is what it felt like to be judged solely on what I was wearing, solely on how I looked. So I had the experience of knowing what they must feel when people look at them and are worried about them, when they're thinking, "I'm just a person, a lot like you, with a family, perhaps with children, and yet that's how you see me?" So with all those things going on, what were the drawbacks? Well, first of all, you were far from your home country. I have found expats to be very clever in creating a home away from home, but still. Imagine how hard it is for refugees coming to this country, but even harder because they can't go home again like I could. So there are some glimpses into my life in another place and another time. But this is what I really wanted to talk to you about. In 6 days, we will mark the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and the attack on the United States. I imagine that many of you can remember exactly where you were on that day. I certainly can. I was in Saudi Arabia. It was after work, and I was heading to dinner with friends. We had heard that a small plane had crashed into one of the Twin Towers, but we had no idea what was to come. When I saw the news when I got home, I couldn't believe it. Who could do such a thing, and why? The next day, the people who worked in the company offices experienced their Saudi co-workers coming up to them to apologize over and over. I had an experience when I was coming into school a little later, and since we had the kindergartners who were Saudi in our school, a father had been dropping off his daughter, and he looked over at me and he mouthed the words, "I'm sorry." Several days later, the pictures of the 15 hijackers appeared in the Arab news. One friend of mine told me that one of her husband's colleagues was so mortified that he was related distantly to one of the hijackers that he felt that he couldn't show his face at work. It wasn't until some of his expat co-workers went over to his house to explain that they knew he wasn't like that and that they were still his friends that he could face going back to work. There were other nationalities, except for one, that were deeply affected by what had happened. We are all still feeling the repercussions from that day. I know that I'm preaching to the choir here at Unity, but my plea is for understanding, appreciation for other cultures, and that includes finding out about them individually, respecting others, and taking the time to get to know them. And most of all, love for our brothers and sisters who are walking back home with us. And I leave you with this blessing. I pray the prayer the Easterners do, may the peace of Allah abide with you. Wherever you stay, wherever you go, may the beautiful palms of Allah grow. Through days of labor and nights of rest, the love of good Allah make you blessed. So I touch my heart as the Easterners do. May the peace of Allah abide with you. Shukran.
Pray for peace. 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 Please pray for peace. 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 Please pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Please
So now, as we move into our meditation, let us begin by noticing the body in the chair and allowing yourself to settle into that chair, feeling gravity easing your body even more deeply into the chair. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Now focusing on your breath. Take a breath in, feeling your lungs. And slowly release the breath. And on the next in-breath, your warm breath is filling your lungs and is warming your heart. And now the out-breath spreads loving warmth throughout your body. Now your next warm, loving in-breath is accompanied by the heart presence of self-compassion. And on the out-breath, you let go of what no longer serves you. Let it go. And on the next in-breath, again comes self-compassion, filling you with kindness and understanding toward yourself and trust and safety within yourself. And breathe out, letting go of expectations, freeing your inner trust, love, and wisdom, and revealing your inner oneness. Breathe in. Breathe in your inner oneness. And breathe out from inner oneness. As you take in another in-breath, allow your inner oneness, the trust, the love, the safety, the wisdom to expand and feel it. And on the out-breath, these same core qualities support you and expand from you into those around you. Now breathe in from your own heart-centered inner oneness. Feel its safety, openness, connectedness. And breathe all of this out into others in the room. Breathe in the oneness. And breathe it out into the room and expand it into our city and state and country and world. Now on your own, follow your natural in-breath and out-breath as you trust the safety of your inner oneness, of this inner heart in its expanding movement into the world. As you breathe in and out, you are sharing your breath with the world, its people, and nature. As you breathe, you feel that you are a part of something expansive and connected. As you breathe, you begin to notice the breath you breathe is expanded too, allowing us to be filled by the inner oneness of others and nature in our world. In this inner oneness shared between us all, the love we extend is returned. And the love that others extend to us is returned to them. Within us all, we experience differences and similarities. We have connections and conflicts, sometimes in our own families and with our friends, within our ethnic and cultural groups, our religious and spiritual traditions, our sexual identities and political movements. And we have conflicts and connections within the other ways that we as humans group ourselves. But also, we are individual spirits within and outside of our groupings. It is the capacity of our human mind to divide and separate ourselves. But it is also a part of the human heart and spirit within us to join together, to connect, to love, to appreciate the similarities and the differences of our uniqueness and our oneness. Once again, we focus on this oneness. And as we do this, let us breathe in this connected breath, expanding in our bodies, and then contracting as we exhale. On the next breath, notice your breath. Notice the movement of this breath. And notice the movement of the breath is in your body. And notice your breathing body is sitting on a chair. And your chair is in this sanctuary, in this spiritual center. And this room is where you began this meditation. Take another breath in and out in your own rhythm. And as you breathe, expand the breath so you feel your whole body in the chair, including your legs and feet. And feel your feet touching the floor, connecting with the earth. As we prepare to end this meditation, blessings to you all on your life adventure. And now go ahead and open your eyes if they have been closed. Well, Noel has given us this opportunity to share an experience I know for myself that I have not had, and to open my eyes and to give an opportunity to bring people who I don't even know yet into my heart. So, thank you. And as we move forward, unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one power, one presence, one life. So whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey of transformation, you are welcome here. If you are new to our ministry and feel comfortable raising your hand, we would love to say hello to you and offer you a free coffee at our barista stand. Is there anyone here for the first time? All right. For those of you here, blessings. And for those of you watching online that might be new to our ministry, we encourage you to sign up for our e-news to learn more about our upcoming transformational speakers, workshops, and events. You can sign up for our email newsletter by texting Unity Spokane to 22828 or sign up on our website at unityspokane.org. We would like to connect with you on our social media, which would be Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Just search Unity Spiritual Center Spokane to find us, and thank you for joining us today. So now let's take a moment to acknowledge and bless one another with a socially distanced namaste greeting from your seat. Feel free to stand as you are able and and send your loving energy to those around you. So let's go ahead and have a seat, as it is now time to celebrate our abundance together as we share our tithes and love offerings. Our ushers will be going around the sanctuary with love offering bags, so I invite you to hold your offering in your hand, or if you're a monthly giver or giving virtually today, please hold that energy in your heart as we say together our love offering blessing. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share.
Do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? Prosperity, I claim it. It is mine. It is mine. I can have it. I can have it. I deserve it. I deserve it. I am it. I am it. It is mine. It is mine. Peace. Peace fills my heart. Fills my heart. I surrender. I surrender everything.
Dear Spirit, thank you for these gifts and for those who have given them as we send them forward in continued service to our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. Our chaplains today are Steve and Cheryl, who have been holding the service in prayer for us today, either at home or here in the sanctuary. So, and Al is going to be helping us as well. So Al will be available to pray with you immediately following the service. If you have something that is heavy on your heart or something you would like to celebrate, Al will be available at the front of the sanctuary following the peace song. Thank you all for your service. We would like to encourage anyone who is in need of prayer support to fill out a prayer request form found in the seat pocket in front of you or on the table as you enter the sanctuary. And you can put these forms in one of the prayer boxes. You can also submit your request through our online form. Names are added to our prayer list and are prayed over for 30 days by both our prayer ministry as well as Silent Unity. So, I think we have children who are arriving. So let us welcome them with Walking in the Light.
I'm walking. I am walking in the light, in the light, in the light. I am walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. I'm walking as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light, as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
Okay. You bet. You were walking in the light. Okay. We are very grateful for all of our young people here at Unity Spiritual Center. So now let's take a moment to bless our children, youth, and those in service to our youth ministry with our children's blessing. Be the love you are. Sing the song you hear. Share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are. Sing the song we hear. Share our joy of life with people far and near. All right. Thank you, everybody. Everyone finding their home. Okay, now let us join together for our closing prayer of protection, followed by the peace song. Together we affirm, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.